And now, the weather. Well, not yet. Now, the complaint from David de Carteret from Jersey Tourism that newspapers, TV and radio don't talk about the weather there.
So essentially what's not happening is that we're getting full representation of our temperature values, which is very important to us as a sunny place and a place that gets 2,000 hours of sunshine every year, and also we're not getting the Channel Islands featured on the weather maps, on broadcast media and indeed in the press as well. So there's quite a few people responsible for this. What
do you think accounts for that? Could it be that you're not close enough to the main bit of the UK?
I think there's an element of that. I mean, it is difficult because obviously we're sort of 10, 12 miles from the coast of France, and we're all sort of from the point of view of the geometry of a weather map. They'd have to go quite a way south in order to include us. So that's a bit of a problem. But I think more so, it's perhaps just people doing this are more focused to the central part of the UK or the northern part of the British Isles, if I could call it that.
And when you say the buck's being passed, what do you mean?
Well, essentially everybody's blaming somebody else. We've had some conversations with BBC and they blame the Weather Centre or the Met Office, and the Met Office have said that it's nothing to do with them because the Channel Islands are outside of their area as they're responsible for the UK, and of course we're not in the UK. But our argument to that is that, well, we all pay BBC licence fees, so we feel as though we should be properly represented.
What's the answer?
The answer is just to work, I think, to work towards this. There's not going to be a massive change tomorrow, but I think by raising these issues, I think the people who are preparing these broadcasts will become more aware of us and perhaps will take account of us and make provision to feature our weather a bit more strongly in the future.
You see, my suspicion is, we know from the correspondence we get about the weather, that people feel often that their part of the UK isn't mentioned, or if it is mentioned, the wrong weather is given, which can be pretty damaging for a tourist area. Are you sure Jersey's a special case?
I don't think we're a special case. I think we have just the same case as all those other people, although perhaps those other people have the same case as us. But because it's very important to us, because so much of our business is dependent upon people understanding that the weather they can get there, booking their holidays on the back of it. So to be honest, it's very important, probably more important to us than it is to many other regions.
Besides the fabulous weather, what else has Jersey got going for it? You've only got 30 seconds, by the way. Don't go mad.
Not at all. No, we're a quality destination. We're a place which combines good countryside, lovely coastline, good food, quality hotels. It is a quality destination. It's not a cheap bucket and spade place anymore. It used to be many years ago.
So no riffraff, please, is what you're saying?
No riffraff at all, no. It's quality, and it's really about providing people with a short break that's fairly close to home.
And what about that weather? Isn't it terrific?
It's wonderful. I left there this morning at 6:30 and the sun was already shining, so we were having another great day today.
That's David de Carteret. If you just switched on, he's from Jersey Tourism, by the way. Well, look, I'm joined live by Philip Eden of the Royal Meteorological Society. And Philip, I wondered, we were talking earlier in the programme about using diplomatic language. When you hear stuff like that, are you tempted to say, oh, get off?
Well, he's done his job, hasn't he? I think that interview was worth 100 dodgy weather forecasts, wasn't it? I think two things occur to me. First, it's a matter of numbers. As you said, it crops up periodically, especially in late July and August, when there's very little other news around. And Scarborough has done it, Skegness has done it, Bournemouth has done it. They all have a go at this time of the year, saying that they should have more mentions on the weather forecast. Jersey's population is less than 100,000, so should we also mention Bedford or Rugby or Carlisle or Paisley in every weather forecast, and how long would he like the weather forecast to run for? The second thing is that these things of course cut both ways. The Channel Islands are very prone to sea fog in spring and early summer. Should the forecast always mention these occasions? Jersey Airport closed, ferries delayed, it would probably put off potential visitors, wouldn't it?
So how do weather people decide what to mention? I mean, are any of these grievances, do you think, ever justified about, oh, you never mention us?
Occasionally they are, and I think it's important in the Channel Islands respect that they are some distance away from the rest of the BBC forecasting area, if you like. We can't really say UK because, as you mentioned, they're not part of the UK, and therefore their weather is occasionally different from the rest of the south coast or the English Channel area, for example. But you could say the same for the Isles of Scilly or for Penzance or for countless other places which all claim to have their own microclimate along the south coast.
Now, we've got a statement from the BBC. I seem to spend my life reading out statements from the BBC, and this one says, the Channel Islands are clearly visible on the UK-wide weather map used in all network BBC weather forecasts, and when the weather is significant, we do have the option to zoom in to the Channel Islands as we sweep across the map.
Yes. and you get seasick as it happens, I suppose, as well. When I was broadcasting regularly, I always used to include the Channel Islands as part of my signposting method, England and Wales and the Channel Islands. Not that I would necessarily actually describe the weather there as any different from, say, the south coast of England, but I think it's always important that they should have a mention.
Very nice. Always good to talk to you. The man they call Mr. Weather, Philip Weather. Now, as a special treat, well, we're wondering, we think lots of our listeners, you may well live yourself in an area that you think doesn't get mentioned properly on the weather forecast. Do drop us an email, or there's a space on the blog where you can let us know, pm@bbc.co.uk, if you think your area doesn't get the right mention, or maybe we get the weather wrong. And as a special service for one area in tomorrow's programme, the area that's most overlooked, we will do a special forecast for the most nominated area. pm@bbc.co.uk.